women. If you hear some shh sound, it's raining outside, so forgive me for that. And if the audio is a bit clunky, forgive me for that. So, we can't really miss what is happening right now, and if we don't educate ourselves on what is happening, we will really miss out on great opportunities to be with great women, and also we will land ourselves in relationships that we ourselves don't like, and we will be regretful and resentful. And living a resentful life is something that Jordan Peterson, my hero, talks about very, very much. You don't want to be resentful, especially in your relationships. We have to put in as much thought in our relationships, in the person we're going to be with in the rest of our lives, as much as we would in a business. So the more thoughts that you put in a business, you should put times two of that thought in your partner, because this person, you're going to live with them for the rest of your life. So I want to help you to my very best, educate you with what I have learned and some of the things that I have learned through our various research throughout the 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 days of researching for this particular video. So grab a journal, as we always say, take notes, because after this, you are going to need to seriously reflect. You're going to really need to reflect, especially the guys who are in relationships. So the first thing we want to talk about is the degeneracy that has been normalized in Kenya and even worldwide, because it's so hard to miss it. Degeneracy here in our country, Kenya, I'm from Kenya, and in anywhere, United States, Canada, it has been seriously, and I mean seriously, normalized. The things that were once seen as taboo and not so good are now seen as normal, are now seen as a rite of passage. They are accepted. Not only that, they're celebrated. For example, multiple partners in a relationship, which is also called open relationships, gayism, lesbianism, hookup culture, and so much more that I haven't mentioned that is really being not marketed as okay. Fornication, gentlemen, adultery, gentlemen, is being not propagandized. That is not the right word. Is being marketed out there as something which is good, and you can't lie. It's just something happening under our noses. So these things were once seen as taboo are now seen as normal, and they're very much accepted, especially fornication. I'm a Christian and I stand by that. Although I am not a saint, I am not a saint, but I am striving towards that, as I always say in every video. So, this shift, a big reason for this big shift is for something I like to call hyper individualism, especially among Gen Z women. This thing of, or this notion that you've heard of, I don't need anybody. I can survive on my own. I can live by myself. So independence these days is being replaced by partnership is being replaced by independence, self over family, freedom over loyalty. But hear me out. Independence is not bad. You have to stand on your own 2 feet. You have to make your own decisions. You have to do and pay for your own rights. You have to do all those things for yourselves. But when independence is replaced by aggressive isolation, when partners, me and you, our partners to other people, our potential partners, are seen as disposable and replaceable, which we are, but that mindset is not really good. And also, as relationships are seen as chains, that's when society starts corroding and eroding and rusting and rotting from the inside. You have to understand that majority of these things, or this mindset that people have, is all being, I really blame it on social media, to be honest with you. I really blame it on social media. This chase for success, this girl boss mentality that is being pushed to women these days is really, really corroding to them. And I repeat again, the theme for this particular episode is some women, not all of them, but these some women are really corrupting majority of the women out there, because majority of the women out there are absolutely great. And for the women I know, most of them, you're doing great. But there's a way you can't lie that you can't really lie that there is something that is really happening with our society, especially the message that our women are getting. And it doesn't stop there. There's also an epidemic that I like to call unearned entitlement. The women, wow, women on social media, you can really tell the level of entitlement that our women have today. They expect a millionaire guy, a guy with millions, who looks like a model, 6'2", emotionally perfect, understanding, good, 6'2", six-figure income, all the ranting that women say these days. They expect that. But what do they give in return? Oh my days. A TikTok video or a couple of TikTok videos doing absolutely nothing with some couple of captions there, talking to nobody, huh? A bad attitude, entitlement, and a list of freaking demands. They can even make a PDF out of it. So those are things that they bring on the table. And it's just not only about the money and looks and status. No, 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 no. The dating culture itself has really shifted. Hookup culture is now king, and I've learned that even women are okay with one night stands. Before I realized that, I realized that this year, and I was like, boom, oh my days. So even women want that. I'm not saying that I'm advocating for it, but it was like, whoa, I thought women were pure creatures, but oh my days, gentlemen, my eyes were deceived, but now they're open. And also the fact that women love sex more than men is something that is very scary to me. But we're not talking about that right now. We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the shift in the dating culture. Cheating, that's something normal, but commitment, nobody wants to commit. Nobody wants to push with one particular partner because they have options or they have high standards that us guys like us can't really meet. So nobody wants to build these days, and it's a two-sided coin, by the way. Even I blame men for this. Pornography and also social media has really lifted our standards to a point where you want this certain kind of beauty from a woman, but it's borderline unrealistic. Okay, it's realistic because these women, we see them online, but majority of the women, I'm not saying they're not beautiful, but the standards that we as men have raised in our minds has really pushed a lot of good women away. So these days it's just swipe left, swipe right, swipe left, swipe right, and you can find your next partner just like that. And what about deep emotional bonds, the emotional connection which really lasts relationships, which really give meaning or part of meaning of the human experience? That is just a thing of the past, gentlemen. They're getting replaced with one night stands, as I've just mentioned, and shallow connections. A lot of women and men today have become very unemotionally unavailable. Like, the reason that they're there is just for the thrill of it. Especially, I really blame these online influencers for posting their stuff online. Honestly, we don't care. Or if you care, I really don't care, honestly. Like, just put your stuff outside there. I really like some celebrities like Christian Bale, the one who played Dark Knight. You can't really know whatever is going on in this life. Nothing at all. Nothing. The only thing that you need to know is the movies that I'm making. Just that. Just keep some stuff to yourself because there are men and women out here who are looking at you and the decisions that you're making, and they really admire you and they're really following what you're saying and what you're doing like dogma. So it's not good. And most people are scared of being vulnerable. And you have to risk to be known in order to be loved. If you're scared of vulnerability, you can't really fall deeper in love with your partner or fall deeper into a connection with anyone, because in order to be loved, you have to risk to be known. They are scared of commitment and always chasing the next wheel. They're always chasing the next wheel. And there's this thing I learned from a particular channel. There's this doctor of psychology, clinical psychology. He usually talks about dating, and I think I'll just put the name just right there on the screen. He mentioned something that really opened my eyes a lot, especially of the dating culture these days. He said that most people don't have the emotional intelligence to figure out that boring relationships is just peaceful relationships. The peacefulness the boredom that you feel is just peacefulness in its rawest form. But most people mistake it for boredom, and that is the love in this relationship is just going down, but it's just not like that. It's just that it's just peaceful. And the moment you recognize that, you fall into another realm or another level of emotional connection. I once had a girl who we were almost there, but a lot of stuff happened, and I was like, let me just protect my peace of mind and just let this go. You know, I have to let this go. I have to let this go. So I want to speak directly to the boys and say, you have to build yourself first. That is something that we know. We know us as guys are not given value like women. Women are born with value. They are born with beauty. They are born with a womb. But us for men, our value is is somewhat derived from the outside. We have to create value. We have to put something on the table for us to be considered men. But I want to really contradict myself there and say sometimes, or most of the time, 80% of the time, your value should come intrinsically. Your value should come from what you stand for, your self confidence, your belief in yourself, the things that you stand for, what you can do, your own heart, your own character. Those are the things that you should derive value from. You should never derive your own value. It should not hinge or it should not anchor or leverage itself from the outside things or the extrinsic things. Your value should come intrinsically. And another thing, if you put in the work as a man, mentally, spiritually, physically, ethnically, you will age like fine wine. But a woman who doesn't work on her character, honestly, you will age like milk. I'm not saying women shouldn't put in the work. You should seriously put in the work. I, for one, admire women who are hardworking. Honestly. So, a woman who doesn't build their character will age like milk. Character is very important because character is what protects the value that you have as a woman. And as a woman, your spirit, your gentle nature, your womb, your purity, that is something that is so valuable. That is the thing that men go to war for in World War II, World War III. Those are the kind of women that we can go to war for. Okay, I'm not in the shape of going to war, although, but those are the kinds of women that men go to war for. But a woman who doesn't have a character, a woman who just relies on her beauty and youth, whoa, wait till the party is over at 30 when your beauty starts to erode. You, my friend, you will see heaven. And you start being like this women online who was just putting and say, men don't approach me. I don't know what's wrong with men these days. My dude, the reason we are not approaching you is because you haven't worked on yourself. And when I mean that, when I talk about working yourself, it's not a job, it's just your character. We are irritated by you. All you want is just money. All you wanted is just the thrill. And now the whole has been expanded. If you know, I'm sorry for my degraded level of speech, but maybe I should stop doing that. But I just want to make a point home. You didn't work on your character, and now you expect us to come to you and start dating you and ask you out? No, please. Oh my God, respect yourself. And that takes me to another thing, gentlemen, about self-respect. When you get into the business of dating, you have to study it. Just the same way you wouldn't go into a business of construction or concrete or steel or manufacturing or anything like that. You have to study the business you're getting into. You have to learn about the dating culture, learn about relationships. How do they work in this modern culture? Go deeper and learn about women. How do they work? How do they function? How do you function? Understand yourself. Understand your self-worth. Put yourself to a higher standard. I'm not meaning that I want you to be look like this, skinny. Okay, know what you want. I know what I want. And I really thank God for the women he brought into my life. And I really filtered out and I really understood what I would want, character-wise and also body-wise, because honestly, I can't date someone who I'm not attracted to. So learn and understand yourself and put yourself to a high standard. Protect your self-respect. Protect your dignity like it's money. And also, last thing, something you should protect like it's sacred is your peace of mind. At a certain point, if you continue working yourself, as I've just said, your life will start becoming more stressful. It'll become more stressful. There'll be a lot of stress. But if you take a lady who is not working on herself, who is just a bother, all that she really does is just being a pain in the, not in, I don't want to say a bad word, but just a pain in the head, a huge headache. Leave it. I don't care if she cooks, I don't care if she does all this stuff. If she's not giving you the peace of mind and the homely, nurturing, and gentle spirits that you want, just go away. Honestly, that is just my advice. That is just my advice. Take it or leave it. Because your peace of mind is absolutely valuable. And a man who throws away his peace of mind for validation from a hot woman, oh my days, you are nothing but a spineless man. Your peace of mind should be sacred. Because at a certain point, I've just said, your life will start being stressful. And if this lady is not giving you the peace of mind, the homely and gentle nature that you deserve, everything will fall apart and you'll be so stressed you won't even want to go home. That is just my research, by the way. I haven't experienced that, but that's just my research. Gentlemen, gentlemen. So do not, any chance, risk your peace of mind just to get validation from a woman. And last word of advice, your mission is more important. And I repeat again, your mission is more important than your relationships. When you choose your mission, when you choose your purpose, everything else says yes to you. But when you say yes to the thrill, when you say yes to women, when you say yes to the chase, you've already lost. Because automatically you say no to your purpose. And when women see you are working so hard to impress them and to get them into your life, and when they see you that you don't have purpose, women have a great way of sensing potential. But if they don't see you fulfilling or coming up to that potential or working towards that potential, they will leave you, because women in a way are chasing that. And as I conclude, move with wisdom, move with grace, move with character. Protect your character. Do not be deceived by sex. Do not be deceived by beauty. Move with wisdom and character. Protect your standards, protect yourself, and always strive to move forward and stay on your mission. And make sure they know your mission comes first. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment as always. I haven't told you today to subscribe, but please subscribe. It really always helps me out and always motivates me to continue pushing greater and greater content. And if you have ideas for greater videos, honestly, just post them on the YouTube comment section and we will get to making them. Anyways, cheers and God bless.